My stepmother acts like I'm competing with her, and I'm tired of it.
You gotta go for first place.
I am 19 years old, and I'm away from home attending college. I'm really close with my dad and 2 younger sisters. My parents are divorced, and my dad remarried my stepmom, 45 female, about 7 years ago. By the way, this comes from Miss Molly 314, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers, we just know what we would do in the situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but my stepmom has never made an effort to get to know me. It might have something to do with the fact that when my dad was still married to my mom, he cheated on her with now stepmom. Long story short, I found out and sent stepmom a really mean email. But it was a mean email coming from an immature 8-year-old who didn't understand the complexity of the situation. I feel like it would be really unfair to write me off because of something that I did when I was 8. But I digress. Continuing on, due to my biological mother's mental health issues, I was not a part of my dad's life until I was 15. When I was reunited with him, I was genuinely excited to meet his wife and my half-brother. I was hoping that she could be a mother figure or even just my friend. I've tried really hard to make this happen too. I buy and make her gifts during the holidays. I try and get her to do stuff with me, and I have tried to tell her directly that I want a relationship. But she still does not like me. She barely speaks to me. Every time I see her, she acts like everyone wants to get rid of her, despite everyone reassuring her that we want her around. She will often just leave the house with my brother whenever I am around, I think to make my dad feel bad about her perceived victimization. She will also say passive-aggressive things that may imply that she is a perpetual victim. For example, I was visiting my dad for the 4th of July. She was planning on leaving to go to her parents' house, so I asked her if she was going to stay for the fireworks. She responded by saying that she was going to leave the next day, but since I wanted her to go, she would leave immediately. We all begged her to stay, but she left anyway. My biggest problem with her is that when my dad spends time with me, she acts like he is having an affair. She will call him and say things like, Rowan and I are learning we can have fun without you, so just stay with Miss Molly, so just stay with OP. Or, I think you should just go to Mexico with OP and her sisters instead of all of us like we planned. She gets so jealous and I just don't understand. I am his daughter, not a spicy dancer. It's gotten to the point where I don't feel welcome at my dad's house. My dad is a major pacifist and he's aware that there's an issue, but he doesn't really confront her about it. Knowing he is not much help, how should I resolve my issues with my stepmom? Should I be direct and tell her that she's acting like a baby? Or should I just wait until their marriage falls apart because their relationship is having serious issues because of all this and money issues? And there is an edit, but what do you think so far? Should OP wait until their marriage falls apart or just confront her now?
We gotta confront her before your marriage is gone. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like this is
like
can happen.
And I feel like everybody can probably tell when she's like leaving and like, beg me to stay. Oh, I'm gonna leave anyway.
Yeah.
Like, people know that it's her. Totally. At this point, like this.
They see her hiding in the bushes after she left.
Right.
They're like, okay, I see you. I thought you went away because you're
like,
so
nuh-uh.
hurt. She's like,
nuh-uh.
no. And she just tries to hide again
Yeah.
and then peeks up. She's just so bad at it. Per the suggestion of many of you, I have told my dad that this issue needs to be resolved if he wants a relationship. I suggested family therapy and he's going to talk to her about the idea. If we can make progress, great. If not, it's going to become a painful and unnecessary her versus me situation. Also, next time she starts the passive-aggressive stuff with me, I'm going to confront her about the way that she's treating me. And there are some replies from OP. Yeah, sometimes he's not very smart. He has a very good heart and he's extremely loving, but he's really absent-minded and non-confrontational. Hence, he let me play games on the same phone that he texted his then mistress. I think some of it is because he has the worst case of ADD that I've ever seen. Thankfully, he is finally getting medicated for it. I have let him know how much it has hurt me and that I don't feel welcome in his house. He has talked to her in the past and she gets better for a little bit and then it's back to business as usual. Maybe I need to suggest he get a little more serious about the situation and not just talk to her. In the meantime, I'm going to follow your advice and just not interact with her. I agree with you there. I think she was really enjoying her life with her one son and loving husband. Unfortunately for her, she kind of ignored the fact that my dad had a different life before her. Then, when my dad had to sue for full custody of my sisters and I, she was totally unprepared. I agree that him not standing up for me is not very loving. He's great in every other aspect, but it's not cool for him to just do nothing about this and hope that it gets better. I also think that everyone should know where his almost pathological avoidance of conflict comes from. When I said my mom is mentally ill, I wasn't kidding. She has Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy. I'm not defending his unwillingness to stand up for himself and his family because it is really crappy. But I think me explaining his background makes the whole situation easier to understand. I couldn't agree with you more. I love my half-brother very, very much, and since he's young right now, we get along great. But eventually the tension between myself and his mom is going to affect our relationship. In a way, it already has. I'll be playing with my little bro, having a good time, and then out of nowhere, my stepmom will literally take him away from me. It sucks, and I don't get to see him much at all. Ironically, my biological mother is actually crazy. I certainly don't think my dad did the right thing by cheating on her, but I understand why he made that mistake. He wanted to escape her, but he also didn't want to lose contact with his daughters. When my parents did get divorced, our mom kept us away from him most of the time because she is awful and vindictive. He was a terrible husband, but a great dad. He still is overall, but he really needs to work on defending me if he wants a relationship. I digress. I think the initial drama surrounding the affair might be what attracted stepmom, like you said. She could be trying to create drama because that is the kind of person that she is. Either way, I've told my dad that he has to confront his wife or I can't spend time with him. I suggested family therapy. He was extremely apologetic and said that he wants me in his life. He's going to suggest therapy and we will see where it goes from there. Update. 2 years later. 2 years after posting this, I can safely say that my family is incredibly fractured. My relationship with my dad is never going to be the same. In fact, there might not even be a relationship. My younger stepbrother, 7, has been largely poisoned against me by his mom. My sister, 19, mostly stays away from my dad's home because it is just so uncomfortable. My other sister, 14, feels the need to create even more drama just so she can get a scrap of attention. It has gotten so unbearable that I don't even feel sane anymore. When I wrote my last post, I really thought there was a solution to my stepmom's behavior. I had many calm discussions with my dad where we talked about how damaging stepmom's behavior is. Over time, those discussions have gotten more heated and mean. We had gone over it over and over and over to the point that I feel like a broken record. Every time we talked about the issue, he would acknowledge that her behavior is terrible. Not in those words because he can't say anything bad about her. And tell me that he didn't know why she's like. I'd ask him why she never liked me over and over again. Why did she never try to get to know me? Why is she so cold? What the heck did I do to deserve this? These are the questions that I asked him pretty much every time I saw him, and he never had an answer. All he could say in her defense was that he could see both sides, even though the issue started when I was an effing kid and did absolutely nothing, and that she was so stressed because she had to clean up and sometimes no one would eat her dinner, which is an absolute joke because when I raised my younger sisters by myself starting at age 13, they did the exact same thing to me. My 13-year-old self never treated them anywhere close to the way that stepmom treats me. I even tried confronting the source of the problem a few times, but it never helped. It probably made things worse. She would just deny any responsibility for her actions and act like I was absolutely insane. Always devolved into shouting because I would get unimaginably frustrated that no one cared or recognized the borderline abuse. And the terrible part is there was nothing that I could really confront her about. There isn't one big thing that she's done, just 7 years of acting like I'm not my father's daughter and like she was a victim of a hate crime. It's so hard to put that into words when someone asks you what exactly stepmom has done that is so irredeemable. I would much prefer that she had done something big. Knowing someone hates you but will never show it in any other way than coldness is so much worse to me than anger. It got much worse when I had to move back home about 6 months ago because of my financial situation. Also, note that I am not freeloading. I have a full-time job, I pay my own car bill, I rarely eat their food due to stress-induced appetite loss, I buy all my own clothes, pay for everything related to my dog, and until it got bad, I paid rent in the form of using my lunch break to drive my sister home from school, which is 10-ish miles from home. And I swear, when I moved in, I tried so hard to make things better. I tried so effing hard to be her friend, but she has just hid away in her room for the majority of the last 6 months, avoiding me. There were some times when it was okay. We'd have friendly conversation, but it never lasted more than a few weeks. I'd either do something unknown to upset her, or she would do something that upset me. 7 years of tension would just bubble over any time anything happened. 3 months ago, I stopped trying with her. I realized no matter what, she will always hate me. There is no relationship to be had with my stepmom, ever. And it made me so angry that my dad didn't care how much I was hurting. He didn't care that the situation made me feel like I was back in that house with my mom, 13 years old and utterly powerless. So not only did I stop trying, I started being kind of mean. Every time she said something passive aggressive, I'd rudely call her out. Not like it mattered anyway, since she rarely talked to me, but I stopped talking to her. I made sure to leave as much of my stuff in the way as much as possible. I stopped doing anything to help my stepmom and dad during my work hours, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. I work from home and used to use my lunch break to drive my sister home from school. I rarely ate her dinners, stuff like that. I'm not necessarily proud of my behavior, but I'm not ashamed either. I hate being mean, and it actually doesn't make me feel any better, but I also refuse to just keep ignoring how she treats me. I just wanted something to be different, you know? I didn't care if it made things worse, because then maybe someone would finally help me, but no one did. My dad and I began to grow apart, and now I have a hard time seeing how he can love me and still let this go on for years. And last night, he let it slip that my stepmom is trying to manipulate him into kicking me out. She evidently told him that she would move out of her own effing house just to get away from me. It's the most manipulative thing that she's ever done. And it absolutely broke my effing heart to hear that. One, from someone that hates me that much, and two, that my own father didn't think that was unacceptable to say. Yes, for the past 3 months, I have not been nice, but I have not been evil. I've certainly not done anything that she herself hasn't done for years. There's nothing wrong with me, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. I have certainly done nothing to deserve her making my dad choose between his daughter and his wife. The conversation ended with me reminding him that under state law, he can't punt me out unless he wants to go through eviction proceedings. I never wanted it to come to that. I only mentioned it because I have a dog that I am responsible for, and I will not let her live on the streets. And that's where we left it. The past few weeks have made me realize that he will never stand up for me. He will never admit that there is nothing that made his wife hate me other than her own crazy. He will never admit that she 100% started the situation out of jealousy or something else when I was a kid. He will never admit that it's not my fault, except the escalation that happened when I moved in, something that I freely admit that I 100% had a big part of. He will never leave her, even though in desperation I have asked him how he could love someone that hated his daughter so much. And by the way, I don't know how you could be listening to this and not want to listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime and you can do that.
You can.
But there is a little bit more to the story. But yeah, I know that stuff is hard. He's like not doing anything.
Yeah. We're, probably 3 years into this story now?
Yeah, at least.
Nothing's changing.
Nothing's changing.
They're actively admitting, hey, we're manipulating you.
Yeah. And Dad is like, yeah, she's manipulating me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just letting you know. Thank you for reading this very long update. I'm about 90% sure that I have a place lined up to move in within the next week. I will be leaving this house and never coming back unless their marriage ends. I still love my dad, but I am so disappointed in him. I'm not cutting contact out of anger. I'm cutting contact because it is too painful to have my dad prove to me every single day that he does not care how bad anyone treats me. And there are some replies to comments from OP. OP says, I am moving out. However, you really need to read the other post. It gives context to why I'm being rude. For 7 years, I've put up with her treating me like I'm not my father's daughter. Even still, nothing that I've done has been anything close to how she has treated me regularly. Also, this is the first time since I was 12 that I have lived in my father's home, quote, rent-free. I supported myself for my teenage years. The stuff I've done is annoying, not evil. And nothing that isn't done in this house by everyone on a daily basis. No one talks to each other since it got bad. My close in age siblings also live rent-free and don't help around the house. The issue is that she never liked me and never wanted me to move in. I don't know why, but that's how it's been since I met her. First of all, her behavior has affected both of my biological siblings in the same way. She is just much meaner to me. One of them is still a minor, so your point is now invalid. Second, a person can make both their spouse and kids a priority. He's known me all his life, and I've never wanted him to do anything drastic like leave her for me. All I've been asking for is helping fix the problem. Someone to defend me. I suggested family therapy, but they didn't want to go. And that's the end of that story.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I guess like now you want them to break up, but obviously
Right.
that's so valid.
I don't think that's gonna change either, though.
Yeah.
My adoptive mother said I betrayed her because I found my biological family.
Yeah, how dare you, I guess.
So I am adopted. I was adopted at 8 months old and knew nothing about my bio family. The only thing I knew was I went into foster care at birth when my bio mom did not give bio dad info, so he could release me for adoption. By the way, this comes from Pleasant Computer 544, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. Court released his rights when I was 8 months old. I do not remember any of this, but it is important for later. Once I was adopted, I grew up with the parents who would always be my mom and dad. I am now married with 3 kids. 6 years ago, in my late 30s, my husband gifted me with an Ancestry DNA kit for my birthday. Nothing comes from it but a little heritage like European ancestry. 9 months ago, 2 weeks before my 43rd birthday, a first cousin matches on Ancestry. Cousin and I talk, and she thinks her uncle might be my bio dad, and sure enough, he is. I look just like him. There's no denying it. He and I talk, and he never knew I was born and that he even had a kid. He tells me who my bio mom might be, and I reach out to her. She confirms everything. All bio family is excited to meet me and know me. I have 6 half-siblings. I understand bio mom was wrong not to tell bio dad. She was forced by parents to give me up. It was the 80s, so she was actually sent away for the entire school year. There are a lot of details to that part of the story, but it is not the question I am asking. I cannot change the past, only move forward at this point. Over the last 9 months, my bio mom has come to meet me. We are 8 hours apart. I went to meet my bio dad, and we are 6 hours apart. Everything is great, except my adoptive mom is upset and does not like us meeting. She requests we do not share on social media and gets upset knowing I want a friendship with my bio family. She says things like, "Most people do not get a whole new family at 43 years old. This past weekend, my daughter is in her school play as a main character, and my mom could not come. So, bio mom asked if she could make the trip and watch the play. Of course, I said yes. She drove 8 hours, and the weekend went well. To respect my mom, no one shares anything on social media or says anything. Bio mom makes a blue app post that she has made it home safely from a trip, and my mother-in-law comments, "It was nice meeting her." Well, my adoptive mom sees it and gets super upset, starts passive-aggressively posting about depression and how her grandchildren will not know her, etc., in all-out petty fit. Then the next day, bio mom makes a post about dealing with traffic. I comment to her about being close to her work, and then adoptive mom jumps on and says, "Seems like you've been there." Bio mom responds that I have never been there, and adoptive mom admits it was a petty comment and to forget she said it. My mom has a history of being upset when things do not go exactly the way she wants it to. Example, when I got married almost 22 years ago, she was so mad at me she would not hug me because I would not let my stepdad walk me down the aisle. I had my dad. We had issues for a few years, and I finally had to let it go and forgive her. When I had my second child, she was mad my in-laws traveled to be with us during the birth. I am not sure what she expected, but she wanted to be the only parent there. I am also dealing with high anxiety out of all of this. I feel guilty meeting my bio family, like hardcore guilt, and my husband keeps telling me that I should not feel that way. I really do try to twist myself into a pretzel to make everyone happy, but generally, no one is, and I'm concerned I will have high blood pressure or an ulcer with the amount of anxiety I am constantly feeling about all of this. So thoughts or advice are welcomed. Am I the a-hole for meeting my bio family? We have tried to be respectful of my mom's feelings, but it does not seem to matter what we do. It is never enough for her. And we have some comments, but what say you?
I say your mom's being weird, and maybe we need to have a heart-to-heart about like what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Is she feeling like threatened by this family, thinking that you're gonna like them more or something? Does she feel inadequate as a mother already, and this is just like adding on to that insecurity? Like,
right. It's like you're getting a new family at 43. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you're still my mom.
It's like, no, dude, you never showed me who my bio family
right.
was.
Kind of
Just curious.
cool.
Yeah.
See where I came from.
That's
I don't
all.
know.
They're being all so nice.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can all chill.
We have some comments. Comment 1. You're entitled to want to meet your bio family, and your mom is entitled to feel however she likes about that. She obviously feels like she's being replaced, so you need to sit down and talk like adults, or your relationship is not headed to a good place. Everyone seems oddly calm and resentment-free about the situation, given your bio mom hid your entire existence from your bio dad for decades, so basically robbed him of his bio kid. Same for your half-siblings. No reason is given for why she gave you up and made no attempt at contact at any point, etc., etc. OP replies, my mom and I have talked about it. On the phone, she lives in another state. She says she's okay with all of it, and then she isn't. Making everything about herself is nothing new. She was mad when I got married and made the planning process a miserable event. Mad when I had my second kid, etc. If it's not the way she envisions things, she gets upset. As for biomom, I know she was forced to give me up, including being sent away for a year while she had me. She told me she wanted to keep me, but her mom wouldn't let her. She was told if she didn't give up bio dad's name, then I couldn't be adopted. To her, that meant she would have to bring me home at some point. Obviously, it didn't work that way. Bio dad is upset with bio mom, and bio mom has told me she is 100% at fault for keeping it a secret. I wouldn't say we are all calm, but at this point, no one can change what has happened. Only move forward. Commenter 2 says, okay, I'm gonna say not the a-hole, because you didn't mean to harm your mother, but hiding the reunion from her was not a good move. First, let me tell you that I think it is really cool that everything seems to be going well with your biological parents and relatives. Family has been my main source of joy my entire life, and it makes me happy seeing other people reconnecting and generally building a familial bond. And that's also why I'm upset you're not taking your adoptive mother's feelings more seriously. I don't mean to say that you have to avoid your bio family, but please understand that your adoptive mother is now reliving the grief and fears that led her to adopt you in the first place. She's dealing with a huge amount of imposter syndrome. Sounds like she's thinking that everything she did for you isn't worth much in comparison to being blood related to someone else. It doesn't sound like those negative feelings are true for you, so please, I beg you, reassure your mother as much as you can that she is your mom, that nothing can change that your children will know her as their grandma. Let her know that you're not replacing her with anybody, that your reconnection with your bio family isn't going to change anything between you two. Put effort into showing her and letting her know that she is, in fact, your mother. I promise if you do that, she'll be cool with you hanging out with your biological family. Hopefully, she'll even let them become part of hers. OP responds, I have been doing that from the beginning. I never hid anything from her. I told my mom from the very beginning of my cousin finding me what was happening, and at first she was just as excited as I was, not sure when and why it suddenly turned. She requested we keep everything a secret and not share us meeting. We are doing all of this out of respect for her, but she's still mad. And by the way, I would be mad if you didn't go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime.
You hear that, guys? She's gonna be mad at you.
I am. You better go listen. But after this story.
Yes.
You gotta hear this one first. We've got, it looks like, just maybe an edit. So,
yeah.
Final thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with those comments that say, like, we need to think about the mom's feelings. And it seems like OP is, but it's just kind of, like, I feel like we just maybe aren't getting all the information that OP has. Like, we're not getting much of the conversation with the adoptive mom. So I'm sure, like, if they've gotten to the point where they have tried more and more things to make her comfortable, then I'm sure they're having conversations about it.
100%.
So
it seems like adoptive mom still wants to have a problem with it regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the reassurance and things that you could try don't work, maybe just like therapy with you and your adoptive mom, just to like remind her, like, you're still my mom, like nothing's gonna change, and just get like all the feelings out. Right.
And maybe talking about it just won't help anymore either at a certain point. Like, I think definitely try that, but I mean, like, if it still doesn't work, then, like, you know, maybe it just needs to be the thing where with your actions, like, you just happen to spend more time with each other more, something like that. And I think, you know, it's important for you to understand that she is her own person and has her feelings too. I'm sure you know that at your age. But I also feel like she needs to still understand that, like, you have your own experiences too, and like she doesn't understand what you're going through.
But we have an edit. At some point, after everyone was known, she changed and got very upset. I told Biomom in the first conversation that I have a mom and I would never call her mom. I have also reassured my mom the same thing. I wanted my mom to be involved, but she doesn't want to be. My mom requested we not share our visits on social media or say anything because it bothers her. I'm doing that out of respect for her wishes, but she still gets mad. Also, my mom lives a 24-hour drive away from me, So inviting her over or making her physically a part of any visit is not doable. But I've only met BioMom in person 2 times and BioDad 1 time, as we also all live in different states. This is all still so new for everyone, including myself. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
That's the other thing. Like, this is so new. Maybe
Yeah.
just giving it the time to settle.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just a lot of processing on
that's a big
both
change.
ends. Yeah, totally.